All righty. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Hope everyone had a good Easter.
Oh, yeah, we did miss last week.
Yeah, we did. You forgot about that?
You know how my mind works.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so while we're waiting, I'm going to drop some links in the comments.
Got people coming in on Instagram.
Well, I don't know if this is going to mess me up or not, but I'm going to try it anyway. All righty, just a minute. I told you what I'm doing. All right, that's fine.
Just trying to get some things going right here. Hope everything's been going well for each and every one of you during this pandemic. We decided last week was probably an awkward time for us to go live based on it being Easter. Everyone's spending a lot of time with their families. Family time is so important. So we decided to wait a week and skip an episode in order to let everyone enjoy their time along with their families on Easter. And now we're back. You know, tonight should be a pretty good topic. We're trying some things a little bit new. At the same token, to, fill everyone in on what's going on with us and also with the system.
Yes. So, I was going to get started. Last week, or actually at the beginning, we asked you all to also, let me start over. First of all, I'm Danielle C. Williams.
I'm Keith Williams.
And I am the founder of For the Lives of Prison Wives and the author of Prayers of a Prison Wife. And I just first want to say thank you to all of you who have purchased the book. I've been getting messages about how much you love the book and how much it has helped you through this process. So now is the time to be praying hard with what we're have going on. So I thank you all for purchasing. And again, this book can be purchased on Amazon. And I also dropped the store link in the comments. That's what I was trying to figure out before we got started. But as I was saying, Danielle C. Williams, this is my husband, Keith. He served 14 and a half years in federal prison on a 22 and a half year sentence. And he's been out now a year and some months. And our goal basically is just to provide you all hope with, especially those of you who have loved ones in the system, that yes, you can make it. We made it. You can make it too. And also to bring awareness. So that's why today's topic is about awareness. At one time, we decided not to touch on, the pandemic situation, because we felt like it would kind of heighten anxiety, because I know that anxiety is at an all-time high right now. But at the same time, after talking, we decided it needs to be talked about because so many people don't know what's going on. And, we have to be the voice and bring awareness to what's going on inside the prisons. And when I say we, I'm talking about those of us that have loved ones that are inside, and we know firsthand what's going on because we're talking to them and we're getting the stories. So that's where we're headed tonight. We're talking about, and I have to remember, what did I title it tonight? Do you remember? Anyway, it's when COVID-19 imprisons the prisons, okay? So that's where we are. That's our topic today.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. So I thought it would be good for us first to just start off on a typical when prison is just normal, everyday prison, and we're not in a pandemic situation. What is it like when your loved one gets sick on the inside? Now, take heed, my husband did federal prison. So what we're talking about and basing this off of is our experience. I would say we're not experts, but we're experts by experience. So why don't you start off, for example, when you first get sick or were sick, when you had situations when you were sick in prison, what was the first thing that you did? And what I'm going to do, y'all, I'm trying to do the split screen. If it does not work, I'll just come back to it. But just so you can get a gist of what he's talking about, I'm going to try to pull that up.
Okay, while she does this, I'll continue the conversation about, what do you go through when you first get sick. So basically, they have a protocol set up within the federal system. It's called sick call. And sick call is designated on various days. It could be Monday, Tuesday, and a Thursday and a Friday, but it has specific times. But normally it's during the times when the prison doors open up for you to be fed for morning chow is what we call it. But to you all, it'd be morning breakfast. And basically between the hours of like 7 and say 8:30. And when you go to sick call, what you do is you go in there and you fill out a form, specifically saying things that are your concerns at the time, whatever the illness is or whatnot. And then you call in the back with a nurse. They have nurses there, and they have what we call PAs, and PAs is a physician assistant. There are no doctors on site. Doctors are basically people that are hired through the Bureau of Prisons. They're contractors. Normally, they could be people that have practices on the outside or people that are retired. This is another substantial amount of income that they can have during their retirement or whatnot. And when you see the nurse, basically you tell them what's going on with you. They assess the concerns. They may take blood pressures, temperatures, and whatnot, and then they send you back to the housing unit. Once you're sent back to the housing unit, you'll be looking day to day at what's called a call out. A call out is things that on a day-to-day basis come out in the prison that tell you where you need to go during the process of the day in the prisons.
Okay, so I want to break in right quick. So when you say from day to day and you get you're sick, and let's say you having symptoms or whatever, and you go to the nurse, can you just go to the nurse whenever you feel sick?
No, you have to go on these designated days. They have it where if it's something that an officer that's working in a housing unit feels is feasible, they can call the medical, which is health services in the system, and tell, what's going on with you. But majority of the time, they always say, hey, tell them to come to sick call. They're not going to just run into the units or whatnot unless you fall out. You fall out, something.
Emergency.
An emergency happens. It's going to be basically tell them they need to go to sick call, and that's that. Actually, that's that.
All right. So basically, your needs aren't met immediately.
No.
It's not like when we're out here, we can just go. We feel sick and we go to the doctor, the urgent care, or wherever we go. You have to wait until that specific day.
Yeah, until your name's called.
Until your name's called.
Yeah,
okay.
Call out, and the call out, it's time period. You could say you might be on the call out between 3 days to 3 months, because like I said before, these doctors that come into the institution are scheduled for a certain amount of days a week. So depending on how many inmates have already been to sick call that's waiting to see the doctor, it's a time sensitive situation. Now they may put you on the call out to go see the PA, which is the physician assistant, but the physician assistant may try, diagnose you and say the things that are going on wrong with you and give you some type of medication through a prescription or whatnot. But then sometimes they can't even they can't handle the situation. So then you have to go back to the housing unit again and continue to wait on the call out until the doctor can actually get to you, which could be a significant time period.
All right. So like you said, so that can take time. And I think you said 3 sometimes.
Yeah,
3 months.
It could be 3 days to 3 months.
So if you're not feeling your best and you don't know what's taking place inside of your body, you have symptoms, so something's going on.
Yeah.
You could be sitting there for months and months. And what could start off as something minor
can become something major.
So I don't know if Facebook can actually see this screen, but that's what I have up there. In prison, minor medical issues can become major medical issues. So again, this is just the basics of how a loved one goes to the infirmary in prison under normal circumstances. So if this is normal circumstances, I can only imagine what's being, taking place now with this pandemic going on.
Yeah, the pandemic is something that actually the medical staff within the prison system is not really equipped to handle without outside entities. I've experienced some emergency situations while I was incarcerated, and I saw the outcome of that. Just to give you all some pointers, I had tore my ACL, my partial tear in my MCL. I tore my meniscus, and I had a fracture in my tibia bone that I had on one occasion. And had it not been for outside help, I would not have been able to get an MRI for 3 months. I'm sitting there in a wheelchair, not able to walk, fresh off the injury, my knees swollen, no medical attention besides me going on the initial visit after I tore my knee up. It was just one of those situations where I had to reach out to try to get people to make contact with the prison and people outside of the prison that are still dealing with the prison to try to speed the process up because I was hurting. I had another occasion where I went to the dentist and I needed to have a root canal, and my mouth started swelling, and it was swelling to where it looked like I had like a golf-sized ball in my mouth. And they just explained to me they don't do root canals, but I know differently because I had been in other institutions where I had a lot of different teeth repaired. So I just didn't let them throw that on me because the only thing they wanted to do was pull out a tooth. But this happened to be my front tooth, and I was not entertaining them pulling out my front tooth. So I reached out to my family, and they made some things, happen through phone calls consistently. And I ended up being able to have a root canal.
Yeah, so let me jump in there. And again, this is under normal circumstances. The family has to be the voice for the loved one. Just like they have a protocol that they have to follow, we out here have a protocol that we have to follow, and you have to go through the chain of command. So yes, you start off by calling the prison, and a lot of times you don't get anybody. That's the issue. Yeah. You can call, because I know the last place for that, we would call and call and call, and they would never answer the phone. So it's like, okay, I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to go up the chain of command, but the first step, nobody's answered the phone. So now let me take it over here regional. Well, guess what regional does? They direct you back to the prison. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, you need to keep up with your documentation, email. And then when I emailed, guess what it says? When no one's here, this person is out the office right now. They'll respond in about 2 weeks. So when you have someone sick in there, they're already by themselves, you can't get to them. So that's why I say I know right now the anxiety is at an all-time high, because I'm sure they're not answering phone calls because there's so many, they're flooded right now, they're flooded. But again, we still have to be their voice. There are ways to be a voice other than just calling. You have to get involved with your lawmakers. You need to get involved with advocacy groups because it's numbers that matter.
Exactly.
And when you do things in numbers and join up together, then things happen. And that's why, we're seeing the BOP move now. That's why the directive was put in place for our low offender, non-violent people to be released from prison because of this. So it's because our voices are being heard and things are starting to be seen. It might not be being seen the right way, but it's out there and it's being seen. And it's something that needed to happen.
Exactly.
And I also just want to drop another I guess a tip, and I don't know if Facebook, like I said, I have this up on the screen. I don't know if you're seeing me talk or you've seen the screen, but I'm just going to read it for you. It's important that your incarcerated loved one finds someone trustworthy that can inform you should an emergency take place. Make sure your loved one gives your number and or email to that trustworthy person.
And that's worked for us.
That's worked for us plenty of times.
Plenty of times.
So even if they're not in let's say sick, but they have to go to the hole, you know, he had somebody that he could trust in there that would call me to let me know that this is what's going on with the situation. Because guess what? We don't know. It's like we have a right to know. Yes, our people are in prison, but that's the punishment. They're in prison. Why should I not know what's going on with them if they're in an emergency situation? You know, and there's been situations even when people have passed, and you know how they found out? By that person's friend or whoever, whatever cellmate or whatever in there. They didn't find out first by the prison. Or the chaplain, is that the person that reached out? Yeah, they didn't find out first by that. You know, he had a situation with a friend that did pass, and they did not find out from the prison. They found out from others that are in there with them. And it shouldn't be like that, but that's how it happened.
Exactly. And just know if they are calling, that there's someone that we consider a friend. You know, we just don't give our family information out to just anyone. We give it out to someone that we have a bond with, you know, that we able to sit there and endure the situation we go through from day to day. And we have a lot of likes, a lot of common grounds. And that's why that person is the one contacting you. So don't feel a certain type of way about that. Know that this is someone that my significant other was genuine about.
All right. Yeah. And Instagram, I know you can't see this. So
Instagram, you might not be able to see this, but like I said, we're trying to get a few kinks out. But for the ones that are on Facebook or YouTube, what this is right here on the screen right now is this is a federal facility. Pictures showing some tents. I have access to multiple guys around the federal system that's incarcerated right now. I'm trying to bring some awareness to some situations. But in this picture right here, these are some tents of where they're actually putting people that are sick and people that have died during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's just a sight to see. You know, it's actually right out here in the open. Within the walls of confinement that the actual inmate can see, not people that are on the outside.
No, that's my first time. Like you just pointed that out. Seeing they're actually right there on the yard.
Yeah, it's right. It's right there, and it's really disturbing because
that's scary.
We're human, and we're supposed to be practicing the right type of humanity. You know, like when we have people pass or whatnot and get sick, we put them in the right environment, whether it's, you know, when they pass, you know, we give them a going away party, a funeral. When they're sick, we put them in hospitals, you know, with the type of staff that they need to help them try to survive the situation they're going through. And right here, I'm just looking at something that seems like some military type stuff as far as like they might be in Iraq or Vietnam or something. And it's just, it's very overwhelming because it makes you feel like they don't care about people that are incarcerated as far as because they have made some bad choices and actually got incarcerated to like they're not human anymore, and it's not right. So we wanted to put this picture on the screen, and I have people in position that are willing to take chances and risks to bring awareness to a situation that's bad. On this next picture right here, I actually spoke to some other guys that said they haven't been to commissary in over 3 to 4 weeks, which means they not only can they not buy foods or whatnot, they can't get hygiene. So right here is the type of hygiene package that they're getting like every 3 or 4 days from what I've been told from guys that are actually in the facilities. And I have numerous facilities. Bob Barker soap. You know, Bob Barker, what show did he used to be on?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The Price is Right.
The Price is Right. He's one of the big. He has a company that makes a lot of different things that send to prisons, and in this package you have a couple bars of antibacterial soap, a little small piece of a little small pack of toothpaste, a comb, some deodorant that's maybe about that small. I'm gonna say you can wipe the deodorant on 2 times and it's done. I've been there, and they have a razor in there. I've seen these packages. These are packages that we get when we go through transit or whatnot. On the left side of this picture right here is another package from another institution of what they're getting. This stuff does not last you. I mean, they're not getting antibacterial soap. So the soap that they're using to wash their bodies is the same soap they're supposed to use to be able to wash their hands on a regular basis. How long do you think that can last when the bar of soap is a third the size of the soap that we use out here in the free world? In the middle is some of the meat they're being fed.
And it actually looks right.
Yeah, they give them, it's a certain meat they get fed. And then these boxes that they getting are only boxes that they get during times of lockdown. So these boxes have already been in the facility for Lord knows how long. I told Danielle this a few days ago. I said, when the chicken used to come inside of the kitchen or whatnot, what it said on it. She said, "What did it say?" It said not for human consumption. The chicken that they feed us in the chow hall, that's what we call it. We don't call it a cafeteria. We call it a chow hall. The next picture, it shows a picture of a mask that the guys have been given in there. You know what they were told? They were told to wash the mask with hot water and soap and dry it out before they put it back on. After they've used it for so many days, these guys are sleeping with masks. Anybody that's been to the convenience stores or any of the central stores that we can go to during this time of quarantine knows that those masks are very uncomfortable. Imagine sleeping in them all night. They're asking guys to sleep one way and their cellies to sleep the other way.
So what you're saying basically is there is no social distancing. I've even spoken to someone I know in the state prison system who has a loved one in the state prison system, and they're in a unit where it's 100 people. And in Alabama, they haven't even chow hall is open. What I can say about federal at this particular facility, what I can say about federal is they are on lockdown, which I think is a good thing. So they can't come in contact as much with each other. But to still be going to chow hall and to still be in an open unit with 100 people, it's no way to really social distance.
Yeah, and then, hold up, let me touch on something though. This is like something that's it's embedded in me. I've served 14 and a half years incarcerated in the Bureau of Prisons. And I left a lot of good guys in there, a lot of my brothers. I just can't forget what I went through. I can't forget the information and things that I've learned through or over the duration of my incarceration. A lot of guys in there right now are helpless. But us out here, we have the voice. We have to voice our concerns. We have to address the conditions that's going on in there. People, we haven't lost our humanity, but we're losing our way. We have to gain our way back. We have to get society to understand that we do make mistakes in everyday life, but the mistakes we make can always be corrected. But this is not the way to correct them by treating somebody inhumane.
No, it really makes it worse. And especially if you don't have a support system. I can see how, I used to question, like, how in the world does somebody get out of prison and go right back? Now I know.
Yeah, the opportunities are limited.
Opportunities are limited. You don't have support. They're not rehabilitating. They got programs in place, but are they really, really, truly rehabilitating?
Yeah,
no. And like you've shown me some of the stuff that it's like, really.
And you're correct, Empress. They're not getting any rec time. They're not. Anything they're doing, they have them doing within the confinements of the unit. And that's just depending on what security level they're at. because if they're at high or medium, they're locked behind the cell. Now, if they're in lower or minimum, then they're able to move around a little bit more. On this next screen, Facebook, I know Instagram can see it. These is inside of prison. This is what the ventilation system is looking like. These are like what the showers are looking like in there. You know, the only time they try to clean this mess up is when people from the outside come to see these institutions. You know, that's when they have the people that's incarcerated trying to clean up stuff that's just
because they come announced.
Because they come announced. It's nothing coming unannounced. That was a good thing that when I was in DC, what the committee was talking about when I was on a panel speaking with FAM, they were talking about having a BOP oversight committee. And it's good to have these people in position because they don't have to tell you when they're coming. So they can actually come and catch the raw form of what's going on within the inside without notifying them. When you notify them, they have time to try to clean these things up. Yes, all it is a dog and pony show. They try to cook the best foods. The inmates that they allow to talk to the people are ones that they choose because basically it's just like in the streets, they're lacing their hands up. You know, it's some type of a monetary system within the prison. So they're lacing their hands up, you know, to get them to say the things they want them to say instead of them just picking and choosing the people that they want to speak to. It doesn't happen that way. You know, it's a lot of undermining going on with that situation. But I'm trying to bring some things to the light, you know, and it's not for myself. People understand this. I did my time and I'm free. But I love guys I left behind so much that I'm willing to put my time to bring awareness to a situation that needs to be corrected and addressed.
I'm the same way because I've done it so long. Like he said, it's in me because I saw so many things just going through it with him, you know, from visitation to being sick. We've experienced so much and I saw so much wrong, you know, and I just couldn't walk away without not saying anything about the wrong that's going on.
Now, Empress, I read one of your statements, you know, saying they're able to receive the commissary, but it's a wait. Quarterly package just came out, but they won't get it until June. Now, I'm talking about the federal aspect, I'm not sure how it's going around in the state. I haven't really talked to a lot of guys that's in the state, but I talked to more so guys that are in the federal system. In the federal system, they were able to go to commissary, and then after it kind of got, it was a $25 limit, but after things got a little bit worse than what they are, they took that all the way out of the equation. So right now, I talked to a few guys prior to us going live today to just make sure that we had the facts straight. They haven't been able to go to store for 3 to 4 weeks, whether that's to just buy food or buy hygiene. That's why I was showing the package and whatnot to show people what these packages actually look like as far as the razors, the toothbrush, the toothpaste, and the soap.
And honestly, that may be just by facility because even though it's federal, it's never uniform, you know. So we would go to one facility and the whole different ball game in another facility, even though they're all federal. So
exactly.
All right.
Just
all right.
Okay, so we're back here.
Oh, somebody said there's no split screen, so I guess y'all didn't see it, but you can hear it. What I do is drop the pictures in the comments.
Does that mean they didn't see the pictures?
I don't know. Okay. So were y'all able to see anything?
Just work with us. We're trying to work out a few kinks because we want to bring as much information to you all. I'm seeing the information firsthand. I thought it was something that you all need to see firsthand. However, you know, things are a little, you know.
Hey, Karen. Hey, Sheree.
This technological stuff is not my forte. I'm learning. Danielle's pretty good with it. At the same token, this was something new for her today. Don't punish us, you know. But as we were talking about that, I just want to say that not only I want to say this. I talked to my cousin the other day, and he happens to be locked up in a camp. And he hit me the other day, and he said that they had came to them and asked them, what address would they be going to if they were released. So, the CARES Act's been has been out. Excuse me, Attorney General Barr, he was, given the Bureau of Prisons a directive based on the CARE Act. And then he came to me the other night. He said, man, it's a possibility I might be put on home confinement, even though I have a certain amount of time left. And he was just explaining things to me. So we started doing some research. He said, but what's hidden in the process is this. Even though the Attorney General has given a directive to the Bureau of Prisons, they're trying to move slowly because this is not what they want. Because they're talking about shutting down a bunch of camps to let these people go and get on home confinement based on what's going on. But at the same token, each prison in the Bureau of Prisons has a different union. And if anyone knows about unions, you kind of understand what I'm speaking on. So these different representatives of different unions don't want this to happen, because if it happens, that means they have to transfer and relocate to another prison within the Bureau of Prisons because that's who they work for. So they have been slow on trying to put in the necessary paperwork to get a lot of these individuals out to the halfway houses, to home confinement. A lot of them, they're supposed to be getting put in for home confinement because of job security, staying where they want to stay at, and that's just another story to talk about. But just know this, that's happening also. They're rebelling against the person who's in charge of the judicial system, the Attorney General. You had Loretta Scott, you had Eric Holder, you had so many. These are the people that are in charge of the FBI, of the CIA, of the police, just different entities dealing with judicial systems. So when you have a person in this position that makes this that has changed the process of what's going on, and have people that's underneath them step on their feet while doing the process, who has the power? Who has the power? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If my boss tells me to do something, I do it, or what? I get fired. Who's getting fired? I was talking to a guy that's at the halfway house right now. And I was like real skeptical when I talked to my friend. I had took some things up there for him because he was fresh out. I was in a better financial position to try to help him. I know what it feels like to be helped, and he's like my brother. And I'm like, hey, why are you still there? Well, but I know because I've been to the same halfway house. So I'm saying this, you got guys at the halfway house who are still working with companies that are in essential positions for them to work. You have staff that work, that come in and out of the facility on a day-to-day basis. Now, Lord knows, we don't know who they've been around, but you got a bunch of other guys that are in the facility, that the ex-inmates or whatnot in the halfway house, that's sitting there because they can't get jobs because of the situation. And you subject them to being around people that have been on the outside, not knowing who they've been around, and can actually pass the COVID from their cells to them, asymptomatic. You don't have to have signs or whatnot. Why are they still there? I ask myself all the time, why are they still there? I talk to my friend, why are you still there? Man, you need to try to file this, that, and the third. Why are you still there? You don't need to be there, And it hurts me because these people already see what's going on in the system, and these are folks that are already out. They just happen to be in a halfway house that should be on home confinement to at least say, I know who I'm around day-to-day basis. My family's staying at home. We've been staying at home. Okay, we have left what? Grocery store, anything essential, gas. That's it. She not going nowhere. The kids not going nowhere. We in the house. Man, look at my haircut, man. I ain't got no haircut. beard all way out. Come on, man, we ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? And that would be the same thing for these guys if they let them out. They already out. Some of them got halfway home confinement dates 2 months from now. You know, some of them might have it.
To be the same thing because they'll be on the prices anyway.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, why they not out? Because these folks already worrying about the money. You know what I mean? When you go to halfway house, a lot of people don't know is that they get subsidies out your check. They get 25% of your check. That's one of the problems that I had when I was in the halfway house. They get money out your check. You know, I can go and make $900 gross income, not net, gross. And they take 25% of my gross, even though I'm only getting $700 some dollars net. So I might just go home with $400 some dollars. I done put in all these hours trying to get some money. Y'all taking all my money and I'm transitioning back to the community. Come on, man. That's all they worrying about up there. It's all economics, man. This shit is not right, man. You know, so why are those guys still up there? Those guys need to come out here. The Bureau of Prisons already pays these halfway houses $80 per inmate a day. You know, they pay them a day. You know, okay, if we let them all out, we're not going to get no money. Well, hell, this is a different time right now. Who cares? You know, all these businesses having a hard time trying to get SBA loans or whatnot. What's the difference between y'all? You know, man, I'm upset about a lot of it. You know, and I'm not in there no more, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm not in there anymore. I'm at home. But, man, I left a lot of good guys, man, that I love, man, that I have personal relationships with, that I had a chance to know their heart, you know, as well as they know mine. And I'm never going to give up on them. Don't you ever give up on your loved one. Continue to do what you have to do on a day-to-day basis. Don't take it outside your schedule. Just make it part of your day. We can all survive. We can all correct the injustices that's going on in society. But we have to do this collectively. We have to do this collectively. You know, if you're passionate about building cars, if you're passionate about opening up businesses, but you have a loved one incarcerated, make that a part of your passion too. You know, we all able to multitask and do things that we wouldn't see ourselves doing within a day span, but we do it anyway because that's who we are. Be who you are.
All right. And thank you for that.
Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I was just really speaking off the heart.
Yeah, you did.
You know, because sometimes people have to understand, like, mm-hmm. This is something that I am. Like, this is who I am. I'm not claiming to be anything differently. I am the person that I am. I made my mistakes in life, but we're able to have we have a God of a second chance. You know, no matter what God it is, we have a God of a second chance. And He's instilled the tools in me to try to help others. But I can't do it alone. She can't do it alone. We need help to do this. Just do your part. That's all I am saying, just do your part.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think, thank y'all for joining us, because we've been a little bit over the 30 minutes, but I think, like I said, it was something needed. If you have a loved one in let your voice be heard. I have my website, forthelives.prisonwives.com. If you don't want to, some people don't want to be as vocal or just seen, and that's fine, you know, but share your story with some of these advocacy groups. Share your story on my website. I'll post it. Contact
your congressman, contact your senators. These are the people that we vote for. You all are constituents. You know, you all have a voice. Share your voice.
All right. And again, my book is Prayers of a Prison Wife. That can be found on Amazon. And also you can subscribe for the Loyal Lady subscription box, something that will go out to the ladies just to remind you or to help you take care of yourself. You know, this is something that was important to me because this is a hard journey. If you're doing this for your loved one, it's very difficult. So this is something that I thought would be good just to, give that. So check that out. And also, if you're on Facebook, check me out on Instagram. That's _lives_prison wives. And Facebook is For the Lives of Prison Wives. Also YouTube For the Lives of Prison Wives. I know on Instagram, IGTV, these videos I'm behind, but these videos will be uploaded to IGTV. And I think that's it. That's it. Yeah. I think that's everything. And oh yeah, if you are you do have a loved one, my group is For the Lives of Prison Wives, Loyal Ladies. That's the Facebook group. Okay. And I put those links along with the link to the CARES Act. So I'll post that so you can just research it for yourself if you haven't, along with the link to Reach Fam, the organization that we advocate with. And I think that's it. Oh, my shirt. Yes. And who else? It's so many people. I don't know if you watched CNN the other night. Actually, it was last night, I think it was, with Don Lemon and Van Jones. And there was one more person. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. They had a guest.
Charles Barkley came on.
Yeah, but it was somebody else talking about the prisons. I can't remember the name. But yeah, I shared that on my page. Y'all go check that segment out. So we're thankful to people like Van Jones that's putting this situation in the light.
Check Revolt out.
Yeah.
With Sean Puffy Combs. That's something good to watch. It's bringing a lot of attention to a lot of different areas, a lot of awareness. You can never get wrong looking at people that have prospered and made it and decided, through this pandemic to come in and give awareness to other situations and shine lights on situations. It's very good. It's fruitful. It's knowledge that everyone needs to know. Truth be told, it's truth in there. I can't say more. I watch it. I kind of try to stay focused on what's going on right now in society because you don't know what's going on. People telling you one thing and then you hear another. I guess it's just up to each and every one of us to differentiate what's going on. But at the same token, it's good to be able to hear it firsthand. I've never had the opportunity to meet Van Jones, but I love the work that you do. There's a lot of guys that have been in my situation and incarcerated that just want to say thank you. Continue in doing what you're doing. I hope this message reaches you just to show you appreciation. As well as a lot of the other organizations that also, are looking to try to create, justice and prison reform. That's about it for the night, you guys. I appreciate you all tuning in. Hope everyone's staying safe, staying quarantined, obeying by the 6 foot
social distancing.
Sorry. I can only remember so much. And just taking care of your family. That's the most important thing. Continue to do this until we're out of this quarantine. Looks like it could be some daylight at the end of the day. At the same time, once it's over, move slowly. Understand everyone has to work. We have to provide. We have to pay bills. Do it in a safe manner. Continue to stay masked up. If you have to have your gloves, put your gloves on. Whenever you go to these different convenience stores to get gasoline and whatnot, make sure you have gloves on. Do the things that you need to do, not the things that you want to do. Right now, it's just one of those trying times. But until next week, Danielle and I would just like to say thank you. We look forward to speaking to each and every one of you all soon.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.